Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. It's Friday afternoon, February 2nd, 2024. There's about an hour and a half left in the trading day. I want to discuss some scans that I put in this week for members of the Insider Club. It's the scans are the most active stocks and ETFs intraday. I didn't do end of day because I think they're much more useful intraday, but if there is a request or a need for end of day, I would do the same thing. But let's go ahead and get started. Always remember the market is your teacher, and when we're using these most active stocks and ETF scans, the market is telling us something, is telling us what's going on within the market. As usual, any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you're not using high growth stock software and are not a member of the Insider Club, you should be. Just go to highgrowthstock.com and you can get the trial for 30 days without entering a credit card. Okay, so here's my screen layout that I'm using. I've got a 32-inch monitor here. If you go to folder number 17, you're going to find the most active stock and ETF scans intraday. If you've installed the add-on recently, I want you to delete the warehouse files because I did some editing here. I changed the name and I had a typo down here in number 6 and 6A. So just delete the warehouse files, and that's all you have to delete, and then you can install the add-on. Anyway, let me take you over this, my thought process. A user was looking for a most active scan. I had one in there, but I hadn't really paid much attention to it, so I went in and reviewed it, and then I decided to expand upon it. So what I have are most active up, all securities intraday, most active down, all securities intraday, most active large cap stocks. These are up and down, same for mid, same for small, and same for micro. Now, where does this information come from? It comes from the designer, because over in the designer, if you've installed the files, and these have been in there, what I did in the past, I broke these stocks out by market cap, and this is updated every day based upon filters. So if a stock goes from a large cap to a mid cap, or from a mid cap to a large cap, or any category of the capitalization changes because of the movement of the price, it'll automatically be in the correct group after the update. So if you look here, large cap common stocks and industry group, and then go up to the top here, you'll see there is 793. Now just keep your eye up there and you'll see that the mid cap has 1,035, small cap has 2,116, micro cap has 1,544. So they're broken out. If you only are interested in trading large cap stocks, then you should use the large cap screen. If you're a small cap type person or a micro cap, these are available for you right down here. Now, what I'm doing, I'm using a basic filter. I'm looking for stocks trading 100,000 shares or more based upon a 90-day moving average. And I am requiring just $1 and above, and they have to be trading at least 25% over their 90-day moving average volume. So when I click on this, and I'll make this full screen, I'm in the micro caps. Let's go up to the large caps here. So I'll get this out of the way. You can see the intraday volume on the lowest stock, which is now the highest stock because I resorted on this. It's 25% above the 90-day moving average. And when I bring a chart up, you can see that if you look at this right here, percent volume divided by the 90, right at 25%, which is in this column here. Now, if I resort on the raw combo, APP comes to the top. You can see that it's trading 184% of normal volume, and it's trading at 100% of its daily range. The combo I'm using is the intraday percentage price change up in the intraday range, so it's going to drive these to the top of the list, and you can see the stock is moving up sharply. Earnings are not due until the 14th, so there must be some news on this. I'm going to minimize this, and let's just get this where it belongs out of the way, and we can look at the daily and the weekly charts. You can see the big move up here, but this stock has been in a strong uptrend. It's been consolidating in a consolidation area here, and it's trying to break out on the weekly chart. It tried to break out here and failed, but you can see volumes coming into it, but there's no blue bar here, which would mean that this volume here is higher than any volume on a down day, which is represented by this rose-colored bar within the past 5 days. So even though this volume spike is up here, it's not enough to surpass this down spike right here, heavy volume. But still, volume, it fits the filter and it fits the combo. That's why it's at the top of the list. Let's go down one more. You can see this one's trading 102. 100 is the base, 102% of the 90-day moving average volume. And it's represented right here. And then in this chart, which is chart number 1C, with the black version of the chart, it is trading 278.5% of the 20-day, 229 of the 50, but I'm just scanning on the 90-day because all of the VPA flags are based upon the 90-day moving average of volume. Now I'm going to make the warehouse view full screen, and I'm doing a manual update while I'm doing this video, just so it does an update and slow the recording in the computer down. It only takes 30 seconds to update all these anyway. Okay, that's it. So when I click on the quick pick after the quotes have finished, click on this. I'm going to start up at the top and run you through these and show you what we can look for. Remember, this is intraday only. So sorted on raw combo, I see that SkyWest comes to the top. This is what it looked like yesterday. Volume was high, spread was below average, but the close was very high. It crossed the 3 crossed the 6 9 days ago, and there must have been a pullback because the VPOC only crossed yesterday. Has a high RS rank of 96, 92 Kirkpatrick, 52-week high days since. It's been 2 days ago. 0 is always the day where it happens, so it's trading near the 52-week high. The intraday last, here's the price, 58.91, and here's why it's at the top of the list. It's up 8.91%, trading at 100% of its daily range. It gapped up 1.61, and the volume is 194.5% of the normal. Here's the normal data. So let's bring this chart up. I'll click on this. All that information is right here. You can see that it's outperforming the S&P. It's outperforming its group. The group is cyan, and this is moving up. And you can see that it's moving up sharply. The earnings are out because, or I should say, are quite far in the future on April 25th. So this is moving up, and it's moving up after a VPA high volume down bar. But look what happened on the next day. It opened here, sold off, and buyers came back in. This is really a test. It didn't generate a VPA signal, but you can see that if you have a down day like this and buyers come in, more than likely the stock's going to go up. And look at the volume on this day right here. It was actually greater. Let me open this up here. Get an arrow on here. So on this day right here, the volume was greater than on the prior day. So that tells you that there was more demand than the supply. This would be a supply day, this would be a demand day, and then today it's really in demand. Change the color of the arrow. There's an effort to rise on increasing volume. So everything looks good on this stock with the high RS rating and so on, and the group rank's not all that great. This is the airline industry, but this stock is one of the leading stocks in that group. I'm going to quickly flip over to Thinkorswim. And I just want to see how this traded today. Okay, here is actually the earnings just came out yesterday, so they were out of the way. Well, they are out of the way, and this is what happened after the earnings came out, and then it gapped all the way down here, and buyers stepped in. This is a 16-minute chart, and you can see that the first intraday brought it up to this point, which is higher than yesterday's close, and then buyers stepped in and ran it up. Most of the demand was in these two 16-minute bars, which is 32 minutes here, and then it's drifted upward, but very strong. A lot of interest in this stock. And you can see the weekly chart over here. As we all know, earnings are a real crapshoot, and you can see that some people were shaken out of that stock pre-market, and then it took off. So it climbed to the top of the list, and remember, I'm doing this with about 10 minutes left, or an hour and 10 minutes left, so I have no idea where the demand was earlier in the day, but we know where the demand is now. Now, these are all securities. Let's look at the downside. Let's compare the up to the down. 153 up to 170 down. And I want to show you on the down that you can look at the intraday range. I've sorted on raw combo. And the stocks with the biggest losses are going to be near the top of this. Remember, it uses both the price change and the range. But here's Sandridge Energy, $11.91 stock. What I do want to point out is, even though these are down, you can sort on the range and go to the top. And here is a stock that's down by 34 cents, but it's trading at 100% of its daily range, so that means it's sold off and buyers have come back in. Let's look at Columbia Sportswear. It's an $80 stock. It's down $1.35, but it's trading at 94.47 or 94.47%, and this is a gap down on earnings. And you can see that buyers stepped in. So look, if you're looking for stocks using these, if you're looking to the downside, especially during earnings season, look and see what the intraday range is, because a lot of times you'll be able to find these stocks that have been hammered on earnings, and then buyers will step right in. Even though the price is down and volume's heavy, a gap down 9.88%. people started buying this stock because they viewed it as a bargain. Let's take a look at COLM here. And you can see, I'll make this full size. Here's intraday. I mean pre-market. So pre-market, it got down to 72.5, and then when the market opened, it was trading at 75.03, and it's worked its way back up to 80.66. It just was trading near the high of its intraday range. So what's this opening price here? 74.99. Let's see what HGSI shows. 73.51. So it was showing the pre-market also. That's not what I want. This is what I... No, 72.50 was the low. It must have opened at 73.51 right here. This was the first, even though this is showing pre-market, this is where it opened in, that's the first print in HGSI. But once again, sold off hard on earnings and bargain hunters came in. So remember, if you're looking on the downside, especially during earnings seasons, sort on intraday range and find stocks that are trading near the top of their range. Here's Beazer Home, same thing. Look at this, a gap down, trade all the way down here, and now it's coming back up on heavy volume. Now going back on the upside, you can see the intraday range here. You can sort so the arrow's down and you'll find stocks that are still positive, but they're trading at the bottom of their trading range. So we just have the opposite effect here. See if I can find a decent price stock here. Tenaris, you can see that it gapped open. What did it gap open? 1.87. It's right here, and it sold off. So it works both ways. Very handy though if you want to get a feel for what these stocks are doing compared to where they were earlier in the day. Let's move on. So these are large cap stocks. You can see how this cuts this down dramatically to 47 stocks on the upside. I'll sort on raw combo, SAIA, APP, Granger, I don't know this stock, Edward Life Sciences, Snowflake. But you can look over here and see if this time of day, if the stocks are holding the upper part of their daily range. And you can see that Snowflake is. This is on earnings also, I'm positive. Look how strong this has been on the weekly. Had a pullback right here and a gap up on earnings today, and it's moving higher. Let's make this full screen. You make this full screen though, you'll still see that there is a lot of resistance in the longer term chart. This is once a $405 stock, and it's trading at $221. So always make sure you open the weekly chart so you'll know if this is truly breaking out, and it looks like it's breaking out past this resistance here, and if it has a good chance to go higher. Okay, I'm going to move quickly through these. I don't want this video to get too long. You get the idea. These are just large up and down. Let's see. I want to look over here. Here's Meta. Meta is trading at 79% of its daily range now, 353% or 253% over normal. Shopify, Alphabet, all the very familiar names are listed in here. Up and down, these are mid caps. There's that SkyWest that we looked at. 39 compared to 43. Small caps, 49 compared to 79. So small caps looks like they're weaker. The markets have been strange today. It's up considerably for the composite, but the internals are still negative on the broader market. So a narrow market, but money is flowing into these big cap stocks, and there is, I'm sure, a lot of short covering too. Now these are the micro caps. You won't find any names in here that you know, probably. And then this one, what I did here is I am looking at both stocks and ETFs. I have a few ETFs in here. What this is doing, it's going into the weekly options. So I'm going to bring the designer up, and these are updated every month or so. 300 most active options. Let me take the filter off of that. On the CBOE and then the Options Clearing Corporation. So it's going into both of these folders, and there's about 300 in each one, and it's looking for the most active. There are 300 in here and 300 in here. There's a lot of overlap, of course, but there are some stocks or ETFs that are exclusive to each of these folders. So I just wanted, for you options players, I wanted to be able to quickly locate the stocks and ETFs that are most active up and down. So if there's nothing in the industry, that means it's an ETF. So the financial sector, the XFL, sorted on raw combo, it's up 0.76% today, but it's trading at 97.83 of its daily range. It gapped down, and it's positive now, and volume is above the 25% minimum. So let's just bring this up. Financial sector. You can see that there's been a nice strong run on this, and this has moved up beautifully. Look at this. This is a strength seen returning, confirmation of that strength with an effort to rise, a test, then a rejection, no demand, a sign of weakness on lower volume, but it's just continued to move up. Now here was that reversal on heavy volume, but notice buyers stepped right in yesterday, and it's following through today. I'm going to open this up. Well, here I've got the relative strength rank right here, so I don't need to open that. RS rank is 71, but nice, beautiful chart. Now, if I drop down and let's just do the 2 chart with the 3, 6, and 18, you can see that on this pullback, the VPOC went negative, and then it went positive again here on heavy volume. These blue bars indicate heavy volume right after we were getting these VPA flags. Obviously, it would have been best to buy it right here on this effort to rise with the confirmation, but if you're playing options, this is a good place to look for where the action is. You can see that Pinterest is on top, Snowflake is second, Etsy's third, Amazon fourth, and then Meta, and then Shopify, then Alphabet, and here is this, and then AMD, which sold off hard. Let's bring that up. On earnings a couple of days ago, you can see that buyers stepped right back into this stock, and there was a spinning top. The weak hands were shaken out. Look at that volume that came into it, and then it followed through yesterday and again today. Once again, here's that pullback on the volume point of control, and then yesterday on this bar right here, it turned positive again, and the 3 dipped below the 6, but it turned positive just today, it looks like. But the VPOC turned positive yesterday. You can see that back here also, right here, right here. So all these tools that are in these charts give a good visualization of what is happening as far as the relationship to the moving averages and the kind of volume, the strength of the volume. Now, there are all kinds of ways to prospect an HCSI, as you know, but if you're interested in trading, if you do trade intraday and you're prospecting intraday, these scans are going to help you find out where the action is, and you can concentrate your interest in these stocks. There's no sense in looking for stocks that are not moving, or where there's no demand, or conversely no supply if you're looking for the downside. So anyway, I hope you find these useful. Like I said, right now they're only for intraday. If you want them for end of day, I could do that, but I just don't see much use for active stock and ETF scans at the end of the day, because as you know, the market is dynamic. It's always changing, and it's best to check these out during the intraday session. This will probably serve as my weekend report. Let me just bring this over quickly. The S&P, here's the S&P futures, here's the NASDAQ futures. You can see how strong these are, but yet look over here. The AD line on the NYSE was clear down around minus 1500. It's down minus 798 within 50 minutes to go. So buyers are stepping in, but this market has been up sharply, but the internals have not supported it. Here's the NASDAQ minus 1029 right now with 50 minutes to go, but money is flowing in. Let's see if I can find another quick chart here. I don't think I have it in this version. This is paper money, which I like to use for testing ideas. Like I mentioned before, you can open both paper money and the regular version of Thinkorswim on your on the same computer. Okay, let me point out to you what's going on here. The S&P 500 is up 1.38%, and let's see what the Qs are doing. And you can see the Qs are breaking out to a new monthly or weekly high, new daily high here. Volume is good here. Let's look at the SPY. It's out to another new high. So there's nothing but strength in this market today. It was a real anomaly as far as the internals. It's really tough to read this market, but based upon what I'm seeing for the major indexes, this market's going higher. But you really have to be selective about where your money is going to flow. So not only use the most active, but use these money flow. And use the intraday money flow. If we look at the intraday, I'll just use the demand version of it. Look what's coming up here. These are some of the same names that I looked at with the most active. And one more thing before I leave on these most actives. Just go to all securities here. And if you want to concentrate on, for example, just the NASDAQ 100, click on that or any of these. And then click through to the warehouse and reapply the filter. And it's going to tell you immediately which of the stocks in the NASDAQ 100 are the most active stocks. And look what we have here. AMD, just talked about that. Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, talked about most of these. Datadog, Constellation Energy. Now, if I'm interested in the S&P 500, I click on that. Click on the warehouse view. Make sure you engage the filter. And this shows you the most active stocks. 25 out of the S&P 500. So you can see you can concentrate, have your vision much more focused when you just go to these. If you want all NASDAQ, go up to all NASDAQ, click on that, and you can see there's 49.46. When I apply the filter, there's 86. So you can focus on what's moving both up and down. Thank you for listening. Have a good weekend. And I may change my mind about that weekend report, but as of now, I probably won't be doing one. Thank you for listening.